I thought it would be appropriate to do this heating episode outside. I don't know, it's very... Can you guys hear me? I have a mic here, so we should be good. So we're looking at our options for the floor heating. How we're gonna supply the heat. So I found 5 different options we can use. We can use a gas boiler, what is for me not preferred. For one, you need to haul gas. The thing needs an exhaust. It is very cheap though. The installation as well as the running on gas, it's not very expensive. Then there is the same thing, only then electric. An electric boiler, which was my idea to use for this project. But these electric boilers, they are very expensive to run. They take a lot of electricity and they need a lot of electricity capacity to run. So for instance, I calculated we need 8 kilowatts of capacity for the radiant heating for my room, which is about 50 square meters. 8 kilowatts would, in a good insulated house, it would run double this. But we're not going to calculate my house for a good insulated house. Although we have double glazing. And we do have some insulation on the roof, but not a lot. And we have very thick walls, but also not everywhere. So I think 8 kilowatts would be a good assumption for my part of the house. So yeah, electric boiler has it's not really possible for in our case, because the mains electricity we have is only 4.5 kilowatts, and I don't even know if I can get like much. We probably can get a little bit higher because the other connection we have is like 5.5 kilowatts. But we're not going to run 8 kilowatts on the mains because it's just not possible here. So we could maybe run this 8 kilowatts from solar, but the problem is mostly you use this device in the winter to heat the house, and in the winter you have less solar. So then you're going to need like a lot of batteries and panels to keep up with this 8 kilowatts. So that is not really an option, in contrary to my former belief. For the last couple of days I've been looking into heat pumps, guys. And I don't really know what to think yet. I know how it works differently. Like it's more of a lower heat, but then like more constant. But I hear very different stories about heat pumps, and of course Portugal is also different than when I look videos from the UK and stuff, because the UK is a lot colder than Portugal in general. So I'm not sure about the heat pump. One of the problems is they are very expensive to buy. And we don't have budget at the moment to spend 5,000 euro on a heat pump. They are quite cheap to run. They take about 1.5 kilowatts in capacity, so we could run them here on the mains also. What you have to look out for with heat pumps is that sometimes they put in like sort of an electric boiler inside the heat pump. So if the heat pump doesn't heat up sufficiently, then it has sort of an electronic element in it, which takes the 1.5 kilowatts that it normally uses to over 3 kilowatts. So that is sort of like cheating with a heat pump. So that might be an option, but yeah, maybe we need to do some crowdfunding. And then we have like the option to burn wood, also to get this heat into the floor heating. Because you have like wood burners that have the possibility to, how you say, circulate water inside the wood burner to heat it up. but you need also some more different components, and the whole system is then also like way more expensive than, for instance, a gas boiler or even an electric boiler. And you're gonna need like an exhaust, so it needs to get the fumes somewhere, so we need to go outside with the thing. And the big advantage here is that it's going to be very cheap to run. We have a lot of land with a lot of trees. And then we have these solar, let's say, pipes for on the roof. Like it's like a sort of solar panel, but it's with water. It heats water. And as I understood, this by itself is not sufficient for heating your house. And sometimes even not sufficient also for tap water, heating tap water. Maybe in the last years they got more efficient. But as I understood, you always need like sort of a small electric boiler or something to complement this. Especially also in the winter, as there is a lot less sunshine to heat up the water in these panels. So that by itself is also not an option. You also see sometimes that other things are combined together, like a heat pump or with a gas boiler, or a heat pump with an electric boiler nowadays. And then the electric boiler doesn't use so much because it's preheated by the heat pump. But then you need two investments. So yeah, what do you guys think I should do? Let's get some comments going. But guys, only if you have yourself like good experience with some sort of system, or if you're like a professional who works with these kind of systems. Because they say heat pumps are not very efficient. I don't like, those comments are not really useful, you know. If you had a heat pump yourself and you have a certain installation and it works well for you, then please let me know. But my uncle works still with gas because that's the only, like, because he's a gas installer. Or am I missing something that I could use? In the heat pumps, I'm only talking about air heat pumps. The ground heat pumps are not really efficient anymore compared to air heat pumps. There used to be a big difference, but that's gone. So the installation cost of a ground heated heat pump is not efficient. So I'm only talking about air heat pumps. It's kind of like an air conditioning, like a sort of a turnaround air conditioning. Or they compare it with a refrigerator more. Another advantage of the heat pump is that it can also cool in the summer. So that should also be able to cool our floor, so we have sort of a cooler room, right? That's also interesting. The biggest issue that you need to take into account is that we don't have so much power. So we have only on the mains, we have only 4.5 kilowatts. And the new solar system I have can pull 6 kilowatts. But that's it for the whole house. So some things are out of the question. I bought some different lights. This should equal 150 watts. And it is 18 watt LED. Bright. Bright. Bright light, bright light. Boom! Nasty weather coming in. What a rain, huh? Rumble. Yeah, so apparently LED bulbs are also less prone to flickering. So I took a gamble with these ones. They were €9 a piece. That was even more expensive than the lights in the kitchen for the table. They were already like 6 or something. It doesn't say like that it doesn't flicker, but I'm trying to read up a bit on it. And bulbs should be mostly without flicker. But it also depends on the camera, and we'll just have to see over time. The floodlight LED in the bathroom is still flickering every now and then. If you position the camera in a certain angle. There should be sufficient light for here. That's a lot of rumble, huh, sweetie? Rumble! So I think we're good, guys, with the floor heating. Now, to be fair, unlike you guys, I didn't expect any problems. Hiya, Kira. Because this tube, it has an aluminium core, so it doesn't puncture very fast. The most chance of what could happen was that what still can have happened is that it got dented. But when we tested it in the other video, it wasn't very dentable. So that could have happened, and that would cause the flow to be less. But I didn't think, hey Kira, I didn't think we actually punctured it. If this this thing here wouldn't stay inflated, I would more think it was this thing where something is not connected tight enough, than that there is something wrong with the floor heating. So yeah, mission accomplished. And we can let the air out here, right? Poof! Experiment successful. Wow, who would have thought that? Yeah, sometimes my own DIY solutions work, and sometimes they don't. Oh yeah, we also had these cages. gauges, thermometers. They go in here. But then why is there no air coming out here? It's like sort of a separate cylinder or something they sit in. Let's put them in before we lose them. See if we can keep it dry. I think we need to start taking the alternative path. Girls. Zoe, small round, come on. Andeka. Andeka. Come on, sweetie. Zoe doesn't want to do the small round. Comigo. Conmigo, por favor. Comigo. Zoe, come on. Vamos. Suba. Just in time. Suba. Wenn du. Muito wenn du.